contributions to preserving and sharing our nation's history, Dr. Carla Hayden. Dr. Carla Hayden was sworn in as the 14th Librarian of Congress in 2016, making history as the first woman and the first African American to lead our nation's library. Nominated by President Barack Obama and confirmed by the U.S. Senate, Dr. Hayden has led transformative changes in how the Library of Congress serves the American people. Under her leadership, the library has made tremendous strides in modernizing its vast collections. Dr. Hayden has really prioritized accessibility, bringing historical treasures like Frederick Douglass's papers and President Lincoln's personal items to more people, all through digital media. Her efforts continue to help engage new audiences and share our nation's history in so many innovative ways. She's also spearheading the Of the People initiative, supported by a $15 million Mellon Foundation grant, all to diversify the library's collections and create opportunities for underrepresented communities to contribute to and engage with its resources. Although she could not be here in person today, she is joining us virtually, so please welcome Dr. Carla Hayden, the Librarian of Congress.
Thank you, Ryan. And thank all of you for allowing me to join you virtually. There was a family emergency with my soon-to-be 93-year-old mother. And so we're living history right here with her as well. So I really appreciate it because we're all coming together to share and coordinate our plans to commemorate America 250, the anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and most importantly, the ideals of the Declaration of equality, liberty, a government by consent of the government, of the governed, and our unique rights and responsibilities as Americans. And July 4th, 2026, as we know, and by my count, we have less than 700 days to go. I understand that during this convening, you've heard from many representatives throughout the country, and undoubtedly you've expanded on the plans for Pennsylvania, the birthplace of the Declaration. And as a librarian with a keen interest in making sure the commemoration during America 250 shares the historical context and continuing history of the nation and all of its people, I'd just like to share a few of the plans from the Library of Congress and a few thoughts on the opportunities that America 250 presents for us. You may know that the Library of Congress is a renowned repository of knowledge, culture, and history. And for more than 200 years, the library has provided Congress, and most importantly, Congress's constituents, access to what has been called the greatest collection of information and resources ever assembled. And as the largest library in the world, with more than 178 million physical items and a vast digital collection, we have a responsibility to collect, preserve, and share these treasures with users from coast to coast. And more than a century ago, one of my predecessors, Herbert Putnam, noted, "A book used is fulfilling a higher purpose than a book which is merely preserved." And so today, we go one step further and say that the way we preserve our culture is to share it with one another. Our job as the nation's library is to help people find their story. And within the millions of artifacts, there is one we think that matters to each and every one of us. And when you find it, we hope you know it and you'll be willing to pass it on. And I'll give you an example. For instance, several weeks ago, the Library of Congress opened the David M. Rubenstein Treasures Gallery, the library's first permanent exhibit space. And the inaugural exhibition, called Collecting Memories, explores the way people have preserved their history, culture, and personal recollections in a variety of artifacts. It's a collection of iconic items that we're hoping will connect with the American public, including Abraham Lincoln's reading copy of the Gettysburg Address. A striking example of connecting people to their history and culture happened when one of the library's junior fellows, a rising senior at Howard University named Mila Hill, got to view the exhibit before it opened to the public. One of the items on view was a 6-by-9-foot tapestry called the Blackwell's Kinfolk Family Tree. And it caught her attention because she knew that her grandmother was a cousin of one of the most famous of the Blackwells, the late tennis great Arthur Ashe Jr. But Mila, in examining the family tree, was stunned to see the name of her great-great-grandmother on that family tree. And she said, learning about the tree and about a huge chunk of our family and the matriarch who was kidnapped to the United States in the 1700s, I can't explain what it feels like. And she cried, and she told the rest of her family. It's moments like these when an individual finds their story reflected in a collection item or story or something that we present that makes history come alive. And it's a good representation of our collective history and shared experiences, and our belief that there is hope in history. America 250 presents a wonderful opportunity for citizens from all walks of life to find and share their own stories as a way to commemorate this important milestone. That perspective is reflected in the library's A250 theme, It's Your Story. And we'll reflect that theme as we roll out with more physical spaces in the library and initiatives over the next 2 years. We'll kick it off next spring with another exhibit, The Two Georges, comparing the experiences of President George Washington and King George III, both of whom were lauded as fathers of their countries, but also were reading some of the same books, looking at some of the same documents at the same time. We'll also open a new space called The Source, named by young people, a creative research studio, which will be an interactive learning space for families with young people and the young at heart from about 9 to 13, where curiosity is valued, research is noted and modeled, and the community is celebrated. And then a new gallery that will debut Voices of the Americas, which explores the history of the native cultures of the Americas before the arrival of Europeans and how vibrant these communities are today. We'll cap off the commemoration, though, with another new exhibition, Founding Phrases, which will show how the Declaration of Independence has been interpreted since its drafting and how its language has been used to shape the nation. This treasures display will include the draft of the Declaration in Thomas Jefferson's hand with notes from Benjamin Franklin and John Adams. Most significantly in this draft, changing the word subjects to citizens. The Library of Congress is rightly celebrated for collecting, preserving, and sharing items of historical significance. Yet, while we study the past, we continue to look forward, always searching for new ways to engage, inspire, and inform Congress and the American people with a universal and enduring source of knowledge and creativity. Technology presents tools to ensure that as we reflect on the past and consider the next 250 years, we're able to share the documents, the letters, the photographs, the films, the music, videos, lectures, newsreels, and much more that were not even dreamed of in 1776. Consider the power we all have to bring history alive for so many people, to help them tell their own stories, to see themselves reflected, and connect, hopefully, with one another virtually, like we're doing today, conquering geographical and physical distance. I think what is so inspiring about the opportunities we have with America 250 is the fact that we are convening and have a convening frame to ask questions, to reflect, to learn, to debate, to connect, understand our country, which is still a work in progress. And we can do all that with people from all backgrounds and perspectives. And I hope that as we plan activities and events, we remember that the words drafted in the Declaration, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their Creator with certain and unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words were written in a time when there was no electricity. The vastness of the country was still being explored. Literacy levels among the general population were low, and mass communication required time, ingenuity, and patience. That these words had certain meanings for different people then and have evolved over 250 years, but the principles created a framework for the necessary evolution that we're still embarking on for a more perfect union. With America 250, we have a collective opportunity to add to that framework to ensure that there will be another 250 years and more for our nation. I thank you so much again for letting me join you. And someone remarked as I prepared to be with you, Carla, you're going to be preaching to the choir. Well, I think, and I hope you agree, that even choirs need to practice. So we look forward to working with all of you to craft commemorations that allow people to see themselves as a living part of the American experience.